Hey everybody, it's Pop from the Mom and Pop Quilt Shop. We're working on the October block of the month build. So we're gonna have some fun here. We've done a really cool design, and it's not as difficult as the last one. We have been trying to make them more difficult as we've gone along, but this one will be a little bit more easy for everybody. As a break from the last month's block, it was a little bit too complex. So let's get right into it here. As you can see, we've got everything really nicely laid out here, and we're going to continue on and build out this block. So we're going to click on the block work table as we always have. We're going to do the same process into Easy Draw, and we're going to draw a grid. And this grid is, like we've always done, we're going to work on a 12 by 12 scale. When we put it into the quilt, it will upsize to a 16-inch block, so it'll do that all automatically for us, and we won't have to do it. That's one of the features of this package. It's EQ8, in case you didn't know from all of the past videos we've done. So in each of the corners, we're going to start with a straight line up and go on the 2-inch mark, and on the 2-inch mark in the bottom here. And we're going to do the other side on the 10-inch mark, all the way down, and again down in the center again at the bottom block, so at the 10-inch mark. So the cool thing is we have the first base foundation for the block we're going to build, and we're going to take from the corners in each block. We're going to go from there, and we're going to go out on a 45-degree angle and draw a line. And we're going to do the same thing on this side, except the opposite direction, and the same thing on the bottom. So when we do the bottom one, we have to go from the center here, and we're going to go diagonally out and drop there. So 45-degree angle, and again from the center out. There we go. So that puts us at the 45, and we've got, well, it's already starting to look a little interesting. The center, let's do the center piece next, and we're going to come in to we'll start at 5.5, I suspect is the right line, and we're going to draw a straight line down there, and we're going to do the same on the other side of the block, which would be 6.5. So we're creating a 1-inch strip down the center here, and from there we're going to create a line about here, and we're going to create another line about here. So it's going to give us a fairly small block in the center, but we're going to do some cool things. So we're going to continue this line out of the center from the corners, and we're going to continue it down so that we have that shape there. And we're going to continue to build this out and do the same in all 4 corners. And that is that center block done. So one of the things that we've done a lot is squares inside of our squares. So we're going to do something slightly different, and we're going to put some squares on point here. And to do that, we're going to draw a line like this. And we're going to do the same on the other side. There we go. And we're going to do the same on the next one, on the bottom and on the side here. Draw that up like that. I think that looks right. Yep, looks good to me. Okay, so in this we're going to create some blocks. And we're going to go to there. And then we're going to draw this block out like this, and we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to draw a block, so we're going to end up with a bunch of small blocks inside the big 9-patch block, and that gives us a really cool pattern. So to finish off this block, we're going to draw a line down the center and a line across here. There we go. And we're going to do the same in this block, and this block. The key for this is going to be when it comes to the coloring. So when we block everything out and go to start the coloring portion, you can see how you'll see how the color is the most important part here. The pattern itself is very simple, but has really nice lines to it. I'll just run that out there, finalizing the block, and with lines straight up and down and across. And then two more times to do this, and we'll go into the coloring portion of the program. I think that's a little too much. So ultimately you could just draw a straight line like this. You'll notice that it sort of grayed itself out there, or blanked itself out. So you can go into the pick tool and delete the individual line so you don't have a duplicate line. We can do the same thing on this one and go all the way down to the edge here. And this is the faster way of making your squares. And we're going to create the centered cross. And there we go. And we've got one more to do. Oops, that's not right. And there we go. We're going to create that line all the way down. And we keep going, creating these squares till we're done. One last line there, and then straight down and straight across, and that has the overall pattern done. So now let's move over into our colors. So if you remember the quilt, let's go back over to the quilt. So we have a nice tan and red. That's the way that we're building out the whole quilt. So we'll go over to our color tab and we'll grab, I think it's that red. Someday I'll have to write down which one it is. And we're going to start building out the pattern. And so the outsides are going to be this color, like that. So we're going to do that for all of them. And they're the opposite top and bottom. So we can already start to see what we're trying to build out here. Let's continue this line up here. So we're going to continue like this. And we're going to continue like that. So we've got a big timepiece now, I guess you could call it. You know, how the old days they used sand clocks. Well, this is a perfect example of how we can have one set up. So we're going to color in all around these squares. And you'll notice that the outside, the top and bottom are the opposites of the the top and bottom are opposites of the sides. And just keep filling this in. And the other thing to note is that as we color these things in, the center blocks, if you notice, they rotate. So you want to make sure that you're rotating them to the correct angle. Otherwise it won't look the correct way. Okay, so let's click over here and go into, I want to take a look at that. That's not the right one. It's down there. Quickly look at the block. Eyedropper. See if that'll work. Nope, didn't work. Gotta find that right color. I don't think it was over that side. It's gotta be one of these. Let's go with that one. We'll see and change it if it isn't right. But you can see how the two color tones create the final effect. So you can see the color is important. Okay, and there we go. That's the block for this month. And one of the cool things that you can do is if we put it into its own quilt. Actually, let's put it into here first. So here's the block, and I'm thinking that the best place for it is going to be around there. I'm pretty sure. And that is the wrong color, so we're going to go back and do the other color. But let's go back and fix that color quickly. It's got to be... Is it darker? Let's take a look here. Well, it doesn't look like the right color. I'll fiddle with that later, and I'll give you pictures of it later. It must be missing a block of color somewhere. Or my eyes are just going and it's right there somewhere. That'd be white. Okay, well, we'll play with that later. Let's grab the block and we'll put it into one location here. I think that's going to be the place where we put it. As you can see, when you start to put them together, it really comes out kind of neat. So that'll work too. So let's leave it there for now. Or maybe, let's see if we rotate it, if we get a better look. Yeah, I think that's probably going to go right there. Okay, so let's go and create this as a whole quilt. So we're going to go to New Quilt, New Layout. Yes, okay. And then we're going to the Layout, Borders, Design. We're going to set the block. And you can see that it has a really neat pattern. And you'll notice that it pulled out the different color here from the color palette. We can go back and change that by setting the splitting the colorings and using this one instead. So, or did I grab the wrong one? There, I did. There we go. Got rid of the extra color. So that's what the block for this month is going to look like. I hope you enjoyed the building of the block, and I know I enjoyed making it. So look forward to seeing Mom build it on Saturday, and the pattern will be up on our website on Sunday. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask, and we'll try and help out however we can. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.